West Haven Warriors, and most importantly, hello to all my kindergartners. Get ready for a great lesson on today. You're going to be learning about how to identify characters, setting, and major events in a story. Say it with me. I can identify characters, setting, and major events in a story. Now go ahead and give yourself a pat on the back because I already know you can do this. Now, I want you to take this time to find someone in your house that can be your A-B partner. Doesn't matter who it is, but find a partner. If you don't have anyone, that's okay. Give your moment to find that person. All right, now that you have your A-B partner, I will be asking you questions along the way and having you to turn and talk. When you hear the bell, partner A will go first. The second bell means partner B will go next. The last bell, that means your time is up. All right? So the first thing we need to know before we get started in our lesson is characters, setting, events, and story. All right? Those are things that we need to know. All right? So characters. I'm going to write this over here. Characters, we need to know what those are. Characters are those people, the animals, or little creatures that may be in a story that show action. They're always doing something in the book. All right? So those are your characters. Now, your setting is normally where the story takes place. I like to think about the three little pigs. The three little pigs and the wolf, they were mainly out where? In the woods, right? So that's your setting. It's where your story takes place. All right? What about events? Events, that has something to do with when something happens, okay? Because right now, we're at home because of what? Because of the coronavirus, right? So that is an event that has happened around the world. All right, so that's an event. So just like we have events that happen to us, there are events that happen in books that we read. Now I want you to take a moment to turn to your A-B partner, if you have one, and talk about what is the word identify. What does identify mean? All right, your time is up. I like to say that identify means to do what? What do you think? I think it means to point it out. Everyone say it with me. Point it out. All right? So if I say, what is your favorite color? And you say, Miss Barron, my favorite color is blue. Or someone else might say, my favorite color is pink. That means that you have identified your favorite color. You are able to point it out exactly what your favorite color is. So that is a word that you will be now familiar with if you didn't know about it. And you will be able to show me how to identify the characters, the setting, and the events in our story. Now, if you have any questions, of course, I wouldn't be able to answer them right now. Feel free to ask someone at your house any questions that you may have. Now, I do have some questions for you, though. Before we jump into our lesson, these are called our guiding questions. These are the questions that I'm going to be asking you very soon. So make sure you got those thinking caps on and you are ready. Let's go. First question, who is the character in the story? Now the story that I'm getting ready to read to you is called The Very Hungry Caterpillar, okay? Number 2, what is the setting in the story and how do you know? Number 3, what was the problem in the story? And number 4, can you tell me how he solved his problem? Or what were the events that took place in the story? All right. Guess what time it is, boys and girls? It is now time for a cool video. It's time for a cool video. Get up on your feet and dance with me. It's time for a cool video. It's time for a cool video. Whoop, whoop. Now, while you're watching the video, make sure that you're thinking about those guiding questions along the way.
Jack Carson, Kids Music Channel.
Let's sing about the parts of the story. Keep them on your mind as you read and write. Beginning, middle, end, characters and setting, and what is the story mostly about? The beginning is when the story starts. The beginning is when the story starts. The middle is what happens next. The middle is what happens next. The end is the finish of the story. The end is the finish of the story. The characters are who is in the story. The characters are who is in the story. The setting is when and where it takes place. The setting is when and where it takes place. The main idea is what the story's mostly about. The main idea is what the story's mostly about. Go, tortoise, go! Never give up! You're a winner! Let's sing about the parts of the story. Keep them on your mind as you read and write. Beginning, middle, end, characters and setting, and what is the story mostly about? When you read, write, or retell any kind of story, you got to know the important parts. They're called the elements or parts of the story. Remember this song and you'll know them by heart. Let's sing about the parts of the story. Keep them on your mind as you read and write. Beginning, middle, end, characters and setting, and what is the story mostly about?
What's that story about?
Who's in it?
When and where did it happen?
How did it begin?
What about the middle?
End of story.
Wow, boys and girls. I hope that you enjoyed Jack Hartman's video as much as I did. What were some things that you learned by watching the video? There are so many different types of elements or parts of a story. The characters, the setting, the main events. Oh my goodness, so much to learn, right? So we're going to go ahead and jump right into our wonderful book. It is called The Very Hungry Caterpillar. How many of y'all have heard this book before? All right, so notice here, what do you see on the book? Right? A caterpillar. Green. Some of the colors that you notice? Green, red. His eyes are green. Can you imagine maybe what he even feels like? You think he's hard or you think he's soft? I think he's soft. If you guess soft, you're right. He has these little hairy hairy body. So I'm thinking he's probably soft and fuzzy maybe, you know? All right, so the title of our book is called The Very Hungry Caterpillar. And if you had to guess, what do you think the book is going to be about? If you guessed the caterpillar, you are absolutely correct. The author is Eric Carle. Say it with me. Eric Carle. All right, we're going to go ahead and get started. In the light of the moon, a little egg lay on a leaf. He started to look for some food. On Monday, he ate through one apple, but he was still hungry. On Tuesday, he ate through 2 pears, but he was still hungry. On Wednesday, he ate through 3 plums, but he was still hungry. On Thursday, he ate through 4 strawberries, but he was still hungry. On Friday, he ate through 5 oranges, but he was still hungry. On Saturday, he ate through 1 piece of chocolate cake, 1 ice cream cone, 1 pickle, 1 slice of Swiss cheese, 1 slice of salami. And in case y'all may be wondering, what is salami? That's a type of meat, okay? It's a type of meat. So he ate through 1 slice of salami, 1 lollipop, 1 piece of cherry pie, 1 sausage, 1 cupcake, and 1 slice of watermelon. Wow, that's a lot of food, right? I wonder how he was feeling after he ate all of that. I mean, let me go back here really quickly. You mean to tell me he ate apples, pears, plums, strawberries, oranges, and all of that? How would your tummy be feeling right about now? You bet it. That night he had a stomach ache. That means he wasn't feeling too good. He had too much to eat. The next day was Sunday again. The caterpillar ate through 1 nice green leaf, and after that he felt much better. And as you can see, there's the little caterpillar there on the leaf. And look, there are little holes in the book where the caterpillar probably was going in and out of the leaf as he was eating along the way. Now, he wasn't hungry anymore, and he wasn't a little caterpillar anymore. He was a big, fat caterpillar. And as you can see right here, boys and girls, he looks pretty big, right? He looks full, like he's had a whole lot to eat, right? He built a small house called a cocoon around himself. He stayed inside for more than 2 weeks. Then he nibbled a hole in the cocoon, pushed his way out. He was a beautiful butterfly. Wow. Notice all the colors that you see on the butterfly. Go ahead and turn and talk to your partner about the colors that you notice here. All right, partner B, I forgot my little bell, but partner B, go ahead and share what you notice. And when I ring the bell, your time is up. All right, so some of the colors that I noticed in the book are purple, green. There's even some orange in there. I don't know if you can see it, but there's some orange in there. Lots of different colors to make up such a beautiful butterfly. So then we think about some of the questions that Miss Barron asked you earlier. Who is the character in the story? Think about it. Take a moment to think about it. Who is the character in the story? Okay, so we're going to go back to our guiding questions. Who is the character in the story? I would say it was the caterpillar, right? Because the caterpillar is the main little creature that's on the front of the book, right? And as we turn the pages, that's pretty much all that we were reading about was the caterpillar. Could there be another character? Can you think of another character that we could talk about? Anything else? What did he turn into? You guessed it. He turned into a butterfly. All right, so we could almost say that the main character was the caterpillar, but in the end, we had another character that was introduced that we learned about, which was the butterfly that he turned into. Okay, so our main character, we're going to say that it was the caterpillar, right? What is the setting? What is the setting? What did we say that the setting was in a story? If you said that a setting is where the story takes place, you are absolutely correct. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. I'm loving it. You're on the right track. So, where was the setting in this story, though? Okay, we talked about the Three Little Pigs. We said that in the Three Little Pigs that the woods would be the main setting of where that story takes place. Okay. What about in The Hungry Caterpillar? Where does this story take place? Do you think it happened inside of a house or in a building? Nah. I think that it was probably outside. It was probably outside. How do I know that? How do I know that this was outside? Take a moment to think about it. All right? If you notice here in the book, sometimes we can use context clues to help us answer questions like this. I notice that there is a sun. Well, do we see the sun inside the house? Or do we have to go outside the house to see the sun? You're right. We have to go outside the house in order to see sunlight. So that's what made me think that this was outside. Also, as I was going through the book, I also noticed that there were a bunch of different types of fruits. Well, the caterpillar could have nibbled on the fruit inside the house, but I noticed that there was sun still in the book. So he had to have been outside. Let me tell you another thing I noticed. As I'm turning through the pages, I noticed something else. Do you see it? What do you see? You're absolutely correct. You see possibly a tree with a leaf. Is it normal for us to see a tree with leaves on it in the house or in a building? Nah. So that's what made me think that this is probably where? Outside, right? It's probably outside. Okay, then later it goes on to say that the big fat caterpillar made himself a house. Or a little small house. Just like you may be living in an apartment or maybe a house too. It's your home. So this cocoon was pretty much like his home, right? I want you to take a moment and hold your arms out, wiggle them around, and wrap them all the way around your body. Really, really, really tight. Like you're giving yourself a big hug. And say, I love me. All right? So the caterpillar wrapped himself up just like you just did. And he made himself nice and cozy inside of his cocoon. Say it with me. Say cocoon. All right, now let's clap out those syllables. Cocoon. One more time. Cocoon. How many syllables did you get? If you guessed 2, you were absolutely correct. There are 2 syllables in cocoon. So he wrapped himself up in the cocoon, and next thing you know, he turned himself into what? A beautiful butterfly. Let's go back to our questions. What was the problem in the story? Take a moment to think about it. What was the problem in the story? Okay, now that you had a moment to think about it, I want you to turn to your AB partner, if you have your partner still there, and I want you to discuss what was the problem in the story. Partner B. All right, I hope you guys were able to share some really great thoughts about what you learned in the book on the problem, about the problem. So we're going to start about right here in the beginning. A lot of times you can determine the problem in the very beginning of a book. Sometimes you don't find out until a little bit later on when the story starts to get really juicy. But in this story, The Very Hungry Caterpillar, we learned about the problem in the very beginning. When did we learn about it? You're right, in the beginning. Right here it says, one Sunday morning, the warm sun came up, and pop, out of the egg came a tiny, very hungry caterpillar. So we knew in the very beginning that this wasn't a regular caterpillar. This caterpillar was hungry. And if you're hungry, that means that you want something to eat, right? You want something to eat. He started to look for, what do you think he started to look for? What do you think he started to look for? That's it. He started to look for some food. So that tells us right there that that is the problem in our story. And what happens when there is a problem? We have to figure out how we're going to solve you guessed it, how we're going to solve the problem. So all through the story, we see how the very hungry caterpillar takes one bite out of the apple, and then 2 or 3 bites out the next fruit, 4 or 5 bites out of the next fruit. And he becomes what? He becomes what? Full, and begins to get really what? Big. All right? What do you think would happen if he did not discover this food? What do you think would happen if he did not discover all of this food? Now this is what we call the events that take place. He eats fruit, and then later he finds other foods that he eats along the way. What would happen if he did not find all this food along the way? Take a moment to think about it. Go ahead and turn to your AB partner and discuss. All right. So if you said that possibly the very hungry caterpillar would have died, that is a very high possibility. What else could have happened, you think? He could have continued to be just hungry. He may not have died just so soon. He could just be still starving. He could have still been starving, just hungry, walking around. But eventually we know if he didn't have any food, that would be the end result. Or that would have happened if he did not find this food. He could have possibly died along the way. But luckily, he was able to get some food, get full, and turn into a beautiful butterfly. Now, can you tell me how he solved his problem? How did he solve that problem? Do you think he was frustrated along the way? Do you ever get frustrated along the way? Sometimes things don't always happen like we want them to happen, right? And we have to be patient. Do you think that the very hungry caterpillar was patient? I think so. I think he was pretty patient. It didn't say anything in here where he just gave up. He was very persistent. That means that he started something and he kept going with it. He didn't give up until he was full, right? He kept eating all of this fruit. And then he even found some other foods that you and I like to eat. I know I love eating cake and ice cream and not so much pickles. You like pickles? Not so much pickles, not so much salami, but these are all foods that you and I like to eat, right? And I also like some of these fruits. Now, I asked you this. If you were a caterpillar, a very hungry caterpillar, what would you eat? Have you thought about that? Take a moment to think about it. What would you eat if you were a hungry caterpillar? Now, if I was a very hungry caterpillar, I think I would eat some hot Cheetos. I'm gonna eat some hot Cheetos. I want to eat some Takis, because I know you all love the Takis. I probably would try those Takis out. Let me see what else I would eat. I don't know. I think I'll just eat a bunch of hot Cheetos, because that seemed to be something that you all really like, right? Yep. No, to be honest, boys and girls, I think I would probably eat the same foods that the very hungry caterpillar ate, because I know that the fruits are extremely healthy and they would keep me strong, right? And give me the energy I would need to find some more food. Now, this food over here is considered junk food, right? But sometimes we still like to nibble on some of the junk foods. But I'm just so happy that the caterpillar was able to find a solution to his problem. He was able to find a solution to his problem. Now, I challenge you right now to take a piece of paper and a pen and draw a very hungry caterpillar. Your very hungry caterpillar. And I want you to color it just like you see it here. Draw a sun, just like you see it here. And draw some really tasty fruits that you would like to eat if you are the hungry caterpillar. And maybe some junk food that you would like to eat if you are the hungry caterpillar. And the last picture, I want to see your beautiful butterfly. Because I know all of you all are butterflies. I know all of you all are butterflies. All of you are so beautiful on the inside. And you have done a wonderful job with engaging in the lesson and learning all about the different story parts. Again, give yourselves a pat on the back for a job well done. You all stay warm, stay safe, and know that Miss Barron loves you and can't wait to see you soon. Take care.